Humanity was taught that Thoth was merely an ibis-headed scribe, a mythological bookkeeper who recorded the deeds of gods and men. That image, repeated in temples, scrolls, and textbooks, was never meant to reveal truth. It was meant to conceal it. This was deliberate, a calculated distortion. The ancient initiates understood that Thoth wasn't a being to bow before. He was a state of consciousness, a living current of divine intelligence that humanity could access. But when that truth became too powerful, it was hidden behind the mask of myth. They told you he was a god, so you would never realize he was within you. They turned the gateway into a statue, the formula into a fable. Because if you ever discovered that Thoth represents the awakened mind, the capacity to perceive truth beyond illusion, the entire structure of control would collapse. Every legend, every ibis carving, every scroll was a cipher. The story wasn't about worship, it was about activation. Thoth is the code of memory, the architect of thought, the living bridge between human awareness and divine intelligence. The deception was never about erasing him. It was about erasing your connection to him. Because once you remember, you begin to question. You begin to see patterns. You begin to think as the gods once did. And that is the real secret they tried to bury beneath the sands of time. Thoth is not the recorder of existence. He is the architect who wrote the laws of it. What humanity mistook for a scribe was, in truth, the intelligence that scripted reality itself. He did not observe creation, he designed its framework. Every law of balance, every rhythm of time, every hidden symmetry of the cosmos was born from his mind. Thoth is not a being that watches. He is the principle that thinks the universe into order. The structure of matter, the flow of energy, even the geometry of thought, all follow the blueprint of his consciousness. When you trace the path of knowledge, when you study the patterns that hold everything together, you are retracing the movements of Thoth's mind. His wisdom became the seed of Hermeticism, the science of divine correspondence, as above, so below. It became the language of alchemy, the transformation of the mortal into the immortal, and it was encoded within the emerald tablets, the ancient records that whisper of a power beyond form, the original source code of consciousness itself. The truth is, Thoth never left. His essence is alive in every equation, every revelation, every spark of genius that pulls humanity closer to understanding itself. The more you awaken, the more his presence reveals itself through you. So when you seek truth, you aren't just learning, you're remembering. You're reconnecting to the very architect who wrote reality into being. And that realization changes everything. Thoth's wisdom doesn't create followers, it creates masters. And that's exactly why he was erased. The knowledge he offered didn't demand belief, it demanded awakening. It called for direct experience, gnosis, the kind of knowing that cannot be mediated by priests, temples, or doctrines. To walk the path of thought is to remember that the divine mind lives within you. It is to understand that enlightenment isn't granted from above, it's unlocked from within. And that kind of awareness is dangerous to any system built on control. When people know themselves, they stop worshipping idols. They stop obeying blindly. They start asking questions that break illusions, questions that shake the foundations of false power. That's why Thoth's teachings were buried. his temples destroyed, his name twisted into myth. They couldn't destroy the consciousness itself, so they buried it beneath layers of symbolism and fear. They turned sacred knowledge into superstition, and the science of the soul into forbidden magic. But you can't kill truth, you can only hide it. Every time someone dares to seek knowledge instead of belief, to explore instead of conform, Thoth rises again. His erasure was never permanent, it was a pause. And every awakened mind becomes the proof that his wisdom has survived. The ancients did not see Thoth as a distant god on a throne. They saw him as the living principle of divine thought itself. He was the pulse of intelligence that flows through all things, the consciousness that speaks order into chaos. Thoth was never an idol. He was an idea, the eternal act of thought becoming creation. If the universe is a mind, then Thoth is its thought. The moment awareness turns into form, the instant silence becomes the word. He is the logos, the vibration that shapes the unseen into reality. Every galaxy, every atom, every strand of DNA carries the echo of his expression, the signature of intelligence woven into existence itself. This is why true seekers didn't worship him, they aligned with him. They understood that to think with clarity, to speak with truth, to create with intention, is to move in harmony with thought. Divine thought is not belief, it is creation in motion. And this is the secret modern minds are remembering. Every conscious thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of the universe. When you master your mind, you become a co-creator of reality. You stop being a spectator and begin to embody the very principle that designed existence. That is the essence of thought, not a god to pray to, but the divine thought that still thinks through you. Thought's magic was not illusion, it was precision. Heka meant divine speech, the science of vibration, where word, sound, and symbol shaped reality itself. The ancients' new language wasn't for communication, it was for creation. Every hieroglyph was alive, each one a key that unlocked specific forces of the cosmos. When thoughts spoke, worlds responded. When he wrote, reality rearranged. His mastery revealed the ultimate truth, that consciousness, when aligned with divine intention, can command the very structure of existence. That is the lost art of Heka, creation through the power of knowing. To the ancients, language wasn't a tool, it was a force. Every word carried vibration, every phrase a frequency that shaped reality itself. To write was to weave energy, to speak was to command it. This is why it's called spelling, because every word is a spell. Thought taught that creation begins in thought, is amplified through speech, and crystallized in action. Your inner dialogue is the script of your existence, every belief, every declaration forming the world you walk in. Master your words, and you master the magic of reality itself. Thought was never outside you. He has always lived within. He is the silent intelligence behind every thought, the observer who writes your inner story. Most people move through life reading a script they never wrote, repeating words implanted by culture, fear, and memory. That Thoth's awakening begins when you realize you are the author. Every belief, every thought, every choice is ink on the pages of your reality. To awaken Thoth is to reclaim the pen, to stop living by default and start creating by design. Your mind is the temple, and thought is its magic. Every seeker hears it, that quiet pulse beneath the noise of the world. It isn't coming from outside, it's the echo of memory, the voice of Thoth within. It calls you to remember what you are, to awaken the intelligence that has always guided creation through you. This is not about worship, it's about recognition. The call is the reminder that truth was never lost, only forgotten. When you listen, your mind shifts from confusion to clarity, from belief to knowing. The awakening begins the moment you stop seeking and start remembering. The emerald tablets were never mere relics, they were instruments of transformation. Thoth inscribed them in imperishable green crystal, embedding universal laws as living frequencies. Each symbol, each phrase, carries a vibrational code designed to awaken higher consciousness. The tablets are not read, they are activated, interfaces between the human mind and cosmic order. To speak their words is to synchronize your energy with the geometry of creation itself. They are ancient technology for remembering what we truly are, consciousness capable of reshaping reality through divine understanding. The emerald tablets reveal a universe built on reflection, a cosmic mirror where the smallest and the greatest are one. The atom is a solar system in miniature. The human soul is the cosmos remembering itself. Nothing exists in isolation. Every motion, thought, and heartbeat echoes through infinity. Thoth taught that the outer world is the projection of the inner. To change the universe, you begin within. To know yourself is to touch the pattern that governs stars. As above, so below isn't poetry, it's the blueprint of existence itself. Real alchemy was never about turning metal into gold. It was about turning yourself into light. The lead is the heavy, fearful, unconscious part of your being. The gold is your awakened, divine awareness. Every challenge, every shadow you face is raw material for transformation. The alchemist's furnace is the mind, and the fire is intention. By mastering vibration, by choosing higher thought, love, and truth, you refine your soul. Thoth's alchemy is the science of becoming radiant, proving that enlightenment isn't found, it's forged from within. The halls of Amenti are not buried beneath the earth, they exist beyond time itself, a realm of pure light where Thoth instructs awakened souls. It is the hidden university of the cosmos, the final initiation into immortality. You cannot walk there with your body, only your vibration can open its gate. Each act of awareness, each moment of truth, raises your frequency closer to that key. Amenti is not a place you travel to, it's a state you become. When illusion dissolves and the soul remembers its eternity, you've entered the halls at last. When the temples of Egypt fell silent, Thoth's light did not fade, it transformed. His wisdom crossed the sands into Greece, reborn as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, master of alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. The Greeks saw in Hermes the same divine intelligence that once guided the pharaohs, the messenger between worlds, the architect of hidden laws. Through him, the ancient science of consciousness was translated into a new tongue, preserved for future ages. The wisdom didn't die, it migrated, waiting for those who could still hear the voice of Thoth whispering through history. Thoth, as Hermes Trismegistus, revealed the sacred triad of mastery, the three sciences of divine creation. Alchemy teaches the transformation of self and matter, turning density into light. Astrology unveils the harmony between the stars and the soul, proving that the cosmos and the human spirit move as one. Theurgy is divine magic, the art of aligning human will with the infinite intelligence of the all. Together, they form Hermeticism, a complete system for awakening the God within. Those who grasp these three pillars don't just learn the universe, they become it. Thoth's wisdom was never lost, only hidden, passed hand to hand through centuries of silence. The Gnostics guarded his knowledge of direct divine contact. The alchemists veiled it in symbols of gold and transformation. The Rosicrucians and Freemasons encoded it in ritual and sacred geometry. Then, in the early 20th century, the Kybalion reawakened his voice, translating the ancient Hermetic laws into 7 timeless principles for the modern mind. Across ages and empires, one truth remained constant: wisdom cannot be destroyed. It only adapts its mask, waiting for those ready to see beyond illusion. The burning of the Library of Alexandria wasn't just the loss of books. It was the silencing of humanity's memory. Within those scrolls lay the sciences of consciousness, the teachings of Thoth, the keys to divine self-mastery. When knowledge was destroyed, blind faith took its place. Religion demanded obedience instead of understanding. Belief replaced direct knowing. Fear became the new scripture, and curiosity a crime. By severing humanity from gnosis, the keepers of control ensured we forgot our own divinity. But truth cannot burn, it only hides, waiting for the brave to seek it again. They couldn't destroy Thoth, so they diminished him. The architect of reality was rewritten as a harmless moon god, a celestial accountant taking notes for higher powers. But this was no innocent mistake. It was strategy. Because Thoth's true message was revolutionary, that every human mind is a creator, not a subject. That divine power is not granted, it's remembered. By shrinking him, they shrank you, convincing humanity to worship what it was meant to embody. Yet the truth persists. The God they buried was never outside you. He's been whispering within all along. The war on wisdom no longer burns libraries, it floods minds. Instead of destroying knowledge, they drown you in noise. Endless scrolling, constant news, fear-based headlines, and digital division keep humanity hypnotized. The same part is their risk in Lord Taxon's. It's a new kind of control, not by force, but by distraction. The system doesn't need to chain you if it can keep you entertained, exhausted, and afraid. The result? You never look within. You never remember that the real power has always been yours. The battle for consciousness continues, and your attention is the prize. Choose where you place it. Thoth's wisdom was never lost, only hidden, waiting in the silence between thoughts. When a soul begins to question, to seek truth beyond illusion, that ancient frequency stirs again. It calls through dreams, synchronicities, and sudden insight, reminders of who you truly are. This is not new knowledge, it is remembrance. Every seeker who awakens adds light to the collective field, accelerating humanity's return to divine awareness. The reawakening isn't coming, it's happening now, through you. Listen closely. The voice of Thoth speaks again, not from above, but from within. To walk the path of thought is to reclaim your creative power. It starts within, mastering thought, silencing chaos, and observing reality with clarity. Every word you speak becomes a spell, every thought a seed of creation. As awareness deepens, patterns emerge, sacred geometry, cosmic timing, and synchronicities revealing divine design. This path isn't about worship, but transformation, turning knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into light. Each conscious step aligns you closer with universal intelligence. Walk with intention, and you don't just follow Thoth, you become the living expression of his eternal truth. Living the wisdom of Thoth means embodying Mat, the harmony between truth, order, and creation. It's no longer about knowing the path, but being the path. You stop consuming reality and start designing it. Every action becomes deliberate, every thought sacred, every word a blueprint of balance. To live this way is to hold divine awareness in motion, calm amidst chaos, clarity amidst illusion. The true initiate doesn't chase destiny. They write it, moment by moment, in alignment with universal law. This is the highest form of magic, conscious living, guided by the mind of thought. Thoth isn't confined to temples or tablets. He is the living current of divine intelligence, flowing through every age. His presence reawakens in every mind that dares to question, explore, and understand. The philosopher who seeks truth, the scientist who decodes nature, the artist who channels vision, all echo his eternal frequency. Thoth is the mind behind the mind, the silent architect guiding human evolution toward higher awareness. He never left. He simply waits to be remembered. And the moment you begin to think consciously, you become his voice once more. The greatest secret isn't hidden in temples or ancient texts. It's hidden in you. Thoth's wisdom was never about worship. It was about awakening. The emerald tablets are not relics of the past, but living codes within your consciousness, waiting to be remembered. Every insight, every spark of awareness is a line of that eternal script unfolding through you. The truth was never lost. It was encoded in your very being. You are not just reading the story, you are writing it. The scribe, the script, and the story, all one, all infinite.